Welcome travelers, I'm Free2Player and I'm your guide for a successful free-to-play adventure in Austerra. Today I'm going to show you the best team against PARDIS EX3. I had to think a lot about the best equipment and the best party because of all the weakness shifting this boss does. And if you don't have enough power to smack him down, it doesn't work this way. You have to consider those weakness shifts all day long. And that's why I have made this group, and I have made a very good progress with it, and I only lost once because of only one character dying, and that's why I missed the challenge. But now with this team and on the second try I finally did it, and this is the second try, so I will show you exactly how I have done it, especially as Light, Wingate, Mano, Camilla, Ramona, Trish. Oh, alright, everyone is really important for this whole fight, so I will show you exactly how it's done, and now let's go for it. At first I made sure that Mano is in the front, which gives the whole party a bit of regen, and the next step was to break as much shields as needed, but with caution because I didn't want him to break so fast. But yeah, Trish made it, but I didn't know he was weak to sword, that's why that happened. But then I had to rearrange my fight a bit. But that's not the problem. These are the next weaknesses I have to get around, and I knew about the weaknesses, and that's why I knew exactly which skills I have to use after the break. Some of these weaknesses are the same as the second phase of PARDIS has, and that's why this team composition does a good job in this phase. So that's the next weaknesses: dagger, axe, and light, which I already had. And fire is also one of his weaknesses. Bam! And this is phase 1. Not that difficult, but the next one proves to be a bit more challenging because of this skill, which gives the whole party dread, which makes the battle a bit more frustrating. But I had only one job, just to get his shields down as good as possible so that I can use all my BP again when the enemy breaks. It would be good to have enough shields of him breaking so far. So, a crack for business is a good skill, which reminds me a lot of Lynette, and the provoke does also count for PARDIS. And now is the moment. I have all my BP now, and I can go for the Indigo Ice Blast, which gives an extremely high decrease in ice resistance, 25% with her passive, so this is an extremely good skill. And now I can go all in with all my skills, but of course it wasn't enough to kill him, and that's why I go to the next phase, which has most of the weaknesses of the third form, and that's what I considered. But now all his attacks are a bit more dangerous, and he goes into physical counter, and with the next turn he goes into magic counter stand, so you have to keep that in mind and time your attacks properly. And if you do it all well, you can kill him with a torch. Who should have known that Camilla would kill PARDIS with a flame attack? This is one of the most annoying phases, but not with the first stage of this fight, but with the second. But I'll show you in a moment. The first job you have to do is to break as many shields as possible again, because this phase is the only one which has X resistance. I just used the X ultimate, and I have 2 Crescent Moon, and that's why I used one of them and tried to get as much HP down on this PARDIS form as possible. And that's what it looks like after the break phase, and I try to do much damage as possible, but this is not possible without the ultimates left. So I have to wait for the next weaknesses to get into my new ultimates. And now comes Bright Evil Eye, which is really annoying because this makes the whole party a lot more vulnerable than before. And if you want to know what happens if you attack this shield with a non-weakness, then this happens. All status ailments ever created in this game are onto my Light now, but this doesn't matter because ice and dagger weren't so important in this case. So after breaking him, I knew there wouldn't be so much damage I could have done, and that's why I just pull out everything on max BP as possible. But the next weaknesses are extremely good because there's everything from the first phase plus light, so this is a really good. I have so much ultimates left which I can use for it. So after you have survived everything and healed up with Ramona, you should go for all the ultimates left, Crescent Moon, and the next one is the Fabulous Fillet, and this is it. I hope with this team you can finally beat the master of all and get your last special cat stone. If you have any more questions about this fight, please write them down in the comments or write in my new Discord group. And if you like this channel to class up, I really appreciate a subscription and thumbs up. See you next time, your free to player.